Shalane Orsak. Just wanted to know if you heard about the 3-hour-long conspiracy documentary the My Pillow guy put out about the, oh my God, fraudulent election. Of course, no sane person is going to watch the whole thing, just wondering your thoughts. I believe he went off the deep end a while ago, but now, obviously, he's being supported by Trump, which I'm sure makes him feel pretty validated, but still, this is a little much. Okay, yeah, Mike Lindell and his conspiracy election fraud video, which it was very humorous to me to see that the OAN network, which carried that as a paid program, had to put a full-page disclaimer at the beginning of that documentary, which they read out loud. They don't just show it on the screen. They actually read it out loud to you, that the OAN network and none of its affiliates or any of that have any responsibility for any of the content here, and we are not in any way, shape, or form saying that this is our views about things, and Mike Lindell paid our station to air this, and here you go, right? You know, when you're starting a documentary with that kind of disclaimer, that you're on solid ground. And the thing about election fraud that hits at the heart of the American psyche or identity, or really the entire system, is really that it does, when you are claiming that our system of voting, the most sacred right Americans have as Americans, is the right to vote. Every other right springs from that right. And if you can't see that, then you really need to go check out what our human rights are all about, where they come from, and why it is that our Constitution and our Bill of Rights are so important. They are built on the idea that the people of a country should have a voice in the motions and actions and activities of the regulation of that country, that nation. And that's a fairly radical idea in the history of people. Still, to this day, we take so much of it for granted now because we've had it our whole lives, but we really don't get, so many of us do not get how special and important and very unique our government system is in the history of human beings being around on planet Earth, and how we have chosen to organize ourselves. It is so much easier, faster, and really in many, many ways, kind of efficient for a dictator to just kind of just run the whole show with some subordinates and just, you know, and everybody just kind of has to do what they say. That's easy. That's a simple form of government. Anybody can understand that. And anybody can make that work, which is why it's been the most workable form of government for so long. You want to do something called democracy, where you're going to get people involved and they all get a voice, even the people who don't know what the hell they're talking about, which is most people, to be honest. And this is what you get, right? It's crazy. It's a crazy experiment, but it's a wonderful experiment too, because it empowers all of us if we choose to act on that empowerment and exert our rights, you know, through a smart and intelligent recognition and execution of them. And that's where we're kind of having a lot of issues these days. Mike Lindell makes a documentary attacking the basic fundamental thing that keeps this country going, which is elections. And he says that they are fraudulent. And the reason why this is so dangerous, so devastatingly dangerous, is because it undermines our faith in our entire system. And it's not true. If it were true, if you knew, see, here's the thing with Mike Lindell, is Mike Lindell's just a goof, because he's chosen to believe, to go down a belief set, a path of extremist belief, that somehow the Democrats have the power to overturn the federal election process. It's an asinine claim if you even spend a little bit of time looking into how much oversight, how much third-party work is done to ensure that the election processes, state by state, are kept integral. The integrity of the process is kept pure. And when you attack that, you're attacking the very foundations of the country. And that is dangerous rhetoric to be spreading around. Very, very dangerous. You want to disagree with a politician on some policy, you want to disagree with some social activist group, some lobbyist group over some single issue, nobody really cares. It's like, okay, great, that's your issue, go to town. But when you attack the very foundation of the country, on the thing on which it's built, then we're going to start having some more serious discussions about what you're doing and why. And people who have gone on the fraud election route are uniformly completely stupid on the subject. They are literally have not looked into it at all, or the looking into it they've done has been through some idiot's blog or through some Hannity's or Tucker Carlson's editorial nonsense on Fox News. And those opinion pieces are trash. They are worthless, as is Rachel Maddow's, for those of you whose heads are exploding right now. Like, all those opinion and editorial pieces that you see on the news and all that, they're all junk. And they should say so on the lower thirds of the TV show. They should say, junk, opinion, not news, not factual. Don't pay attention to this. You don't need to have the news interpreted for you. You should just get some straight news. Anyway, I start ranting about all this. I just wanted to highlight the reason why I see this as a problem, what Lindell is doing and what these Trumpsters are doing in pushing a voter fraud narrative. Is they are pushing a story that is incredibly self-destructive to our entire country. And more so, I believe, than Flat Earth, 9/11 truthers, or any of this other nonsense. This is really, really serious stuff, and that's why I push back so hard against it. Why I think conspiracy thinking is dangerous, not just something to be, considered that something that kooky people do. It's a mind virus. These conspiracy theories are. They infect people's minds, and they infect them in dangerous and destructive ways. So that's kind of how I look at those things. Yeah, they're a big joke, and they are very, very easy to laugh off, and they should be, because they are ludicrous. They are ridiculous, and they should be ridiculed. But they are also dangerous. And so we need to... we just need to make sure that people really understand how the system really works versus all these fantasies about how they think it works. Because it's just not that simple. Anyway, those are some thoughts on it. Hope that was interesting in some fashion. And there you go.